Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Kuhio Clearing House. How many of you know your credit score? Drop a yes or no in the chat. My name is Noreen Wai'au. I was born and raised in Aiea, Oahu, but relocated to Hilo, Hawaii 15 years ago. At the time, I was in the financial field working for one of Hawaii's largest banks. My career hit a turning point when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2010. Feeling like I was given a second chance at life, I went back to school to do what I loved doing, cooking. I completed the 2-year culinary program at Hōʻike in 2014 and found a new career as a supervisor in a local restaurant. I remained in the food and beverage industry until March 2020 when the restaurant was closed due to COVID. In the latter part of the year, I found information about the Hiapo program. I was a little hesitant at first because I have absolutely no tech experience, but this journey over the last 4 months have truly been an awesome experience. Mahalo to Purple Mai'a for this opportunity, and a big mahalo to our kumus, Ke'ahi and Vic.
Aloha everyone, sorry my mic was off. I'm April and I was born and raised on Oahu. My background comes from ESL, which is teaching English as a second language. And so I've been teaching for about 10 years, 5 of which were in Japan. And in 2018, I decided to visit home. And since then, I've been stuck here. But fortunately, I continued working as a teacher here in Honolulu, and I became a director at an adult ESL school. I have no background or any related experience with Salesforce. I'm in the same boat as Noreen, but I am hoping to start a career in Salesforce. These past few months have been super challenging, but really cool to get hands-on experience. So I'm looking forward working more with Salesforce. Mahalo.
Aloha kako. My name is Leia Verdadero. I've been employed with child welfare for almost a decade. As the current supervisor of foster home licensing for the island of Oahu, I get to help keiki find stabilization within our community during their most traumatic times. The grief of child welfare and the pandemic pushed me to seek a career that's less detrimental and still a balm to our communities. And hopefully that's Salesforce. Excuse me. Today, we're going to present a problem in our community, anchor it with historical background, provide snapshots that move through a timeline. We're also going to introduce you to our client and present our change solution. So like Ke'ahi and Vic like to say, let's get into it. For centuries, Kanaka Maoli lived under the Ahupua'a system, where Ohana worked collaboratively to share and maintain resources in an economy without money. The Reciprocity Treaty, along with the sugar barons usurping the monarchy, introduced a monetized economy and tossed many on a path that failed to explain the importance of finance. Real estate is one of the largest sectors of the economy in Hawaii, accounting for almost 20% of economic activity and 11% of jobs in the state. The costs imposed by the Jones Act are problematic for the economy because it's a major user of building supplies. Due to the limitation of the Jones Act, vessels that carry building cargo here means prices are especially high in Hawaii, and almost all supply that come from foreign countries is subject to tariffs. The timeline that you see is a representative of Hawaii's economy in the last century. The woes of not educating people are reflective of the last slide. And as you move forward through the timeline, we can see that the education piece is still missing in society today and our school systems. So unless you're able to pay for credit repair services, you're in a conundrum. By a show of hands, or response in the chat, is there anyone here who hasn't heard of friends or family that moved away because the cost of living has become too much? Well, today's article from KHON cited at least 50,000 people have relocated to the 9th island, and that many of us have been touched by this. Families that don't have the resources to thrive or move sacrifice housing expenses for childcare, food, educational resources, transportation, and the list goes on.
O ke kahua mamua, mahope ke kūkulu. Foundation first, then the building. This olelo no eau, or proverb, speaks to the importance of having a strong and stable kahua, foundation. This foundation must be steady before attempting to build any structure, or else the structure and the kahua will fail. In the same way that the success of our clients in getting their applications approved depends on the stability of their financial kahua. Some of our clients will come to us with a stable foundation, but not all will. At Kuhio Clearinghouse, we will work with our clients to ensure that their kahua are stable so that they are ready for the build. Let me introduce you to our customer, Kamaile Poni, a 69-year-old Native Hawaiian woman living on the island of Oahu. Like many of us, Kamaile dreams of owning her own home. In her early 20s, Kamaile worked as a local entertainer and performed for tourists on the Waikiki Strip. She began putting her tip money into a house fund for her and her mother. Knowing full well that tips were not going to be enough to make her dream a reality, she decided to seek out other opportunities. So in 1987, Kamaile applied for a homestead program that aimed to help house impoverished Native Hawaiians like herself. Once she was done navigating the difficult application process, she was placed on a wait list and hoped that she would soon receive good news. While she waited to hear back from the program, life happened. Kamaile tried her best to make ends meet and keep a roof over her head. She worked hard as a waitress, housekeeper, and did other odd jobs here and there, often juggling 2 or 3 jobs at a time. Kamaile struggled to maintain employment and had to file bankruptcy. She even found herself homeless at one point. Eventually, Kamaile heard back from the homestead program. She was so excited because this was going to be the answer to her prayers and give her the help she so desperately needed. The land she was being offered, a part of a 203,000-acre trust, would be virtually free and would be under a long-term lease. What a great legacy to leave behind for her ohana. But there was a catch. If Kamaile accepted the homestead offer, she would need to build her home or purchase one from a developer within a designated time period. Upon accepting this opportunity, Kamaile would need to be pre-qualified for a mortgage loan, something Kamaile knew that she would never qualify for, given her current financial situation. And so Kamaile was forced to pass on her first opportunity from the homestead program. Fast forward to today, more than 2 decades later, Kamaile has been offered several more opportunities from the homestead program over the years. And with every single offer, an overwhelming feeling of frustration washes over her as she passes it up yet again, and her name gets put back on the wait list of over 27,000 Native Hawaiians.
Mahalo for the backstory, Noreen. Okay, now I'm going to take you to our community webpage. So here it's designed for people like Kamaile and other potential clients. It's very simplified where you'll be able to find the knowledge articles, which Lei will cover a little bit later, and a little bit of information of our staff members for Kuhio House Clearing. So we've got 2 main staff members on our team. You've got the credit hype man. This is Jason Momowa. He'll work with clients whose credit needs repair. And once their credit is in good standing, they'll be able to move on to our housing developer, Keanu Reed. So as Kamaile is on our webpage, she'll scroll down, she'll be interested, and she'll input her information, which is a web to lead form that we created. So once this form is submitted, we created a process builder here, which Noreen will explain.
Salesforce has a workflow tool called a process builder. This tool helps to automate everyday business processes and create shortcuts for users to accomplish repetitive and time-consuming tasks. So we created a process builder on the lead object that takes Kamaile's info she provided and creates a lead and an account. The process also generates 2 emails, One that will go to Kumaile, thanking her for her application and that someone will contact her shortly, and the other to Jason, alerting him he has a new client.
So let's see this process builder in action. All right, so the first email that you see here, mahalo for your interest email, is sent to our client, Kamaile. And attached to this email is a credit repair sheet, which Lei will explain.
Okay, mahalo, April. We've dropped the plan into the chat as our gift to everyone today. Please feel free to use it as a reference or utilize it at your leisure. This comprehensive plan provides steps on how to dispute issues with the 3 credit bureaus and any debt collectors. Once a client pulls their credit report, they can use our roadmap to understand where to enter information on dispute letters by matching the numerals on the report to the corresponding fields in the letters. Clients also get a script to help them get through debt collection calls and what to say if debt collectors become aggressive. Finally, our clients get a debt settlement sheet that show how and why to negotiate a settlement and how to pay and track mailings for their records. As you can see, Kuhio Clearinghouse provides the what, and we'll share about the when we talk about the path.
Now, the other email, which is credit repair, is sent to Jason and his team. It's an email alert notifying them that they have a new client to start working with throughout the months. Now, on the back end, a lead is automatically created, so our users will be able to see the update. So you have Kamaile Pony here. And again, with the process builder that Maureen explained, an account is also created. And Lei will explain the credit path here that she built.
Thanks again, April. Our path design deploys credit monitoring and debt reduction immediately. By the 4th month, a strategy to build credit deploys, prepping the client for a financial future. If your credit score isn't where your goals are, then Jason looks at the why and sends the customer back through the process to break any difficult barriers. All the while, the entire path is systemically tied to knowledge articles, but we'll tie back into that in a bit.
Okay, so that now you can see here that Kamaile Pony's account has been automatically created, and it's set to her last name plus household. Now, as Jason meets with the client, with Kamaile, he'll have to manually input some information. So we have 3 main parts here. We have a credit score, credit path. The credit score is tied with a credit gauge, and Lei again will explain to you.
Thanks again. So the gauge is a novel tool individualized for the customer to visualize where they are, and you'll get to see that change as April moves through the path.
So I'll put a very low score here to show that she needs some credit repair. And the credit path is what Lei explained earlier. So Jason on his side will have to input updates on the client's path. Now for the credit path, we also built a flow for each path. And this also helps automate some actions. So when the record is updated on the credit path pick list, an email is triggered and sent to the client. That way they know their progress throughout the months with their credit score. So going back on the account, I'll go ahead and update this. Each flow that we made is similar. So for now, I'll show you credit monitoring. Okay, so you can see that the gauge reflects what the information was put for credit score. And then you see that the monitoring email is sent to Kamaile. Now, throughout the months, Kamaile still has access to our website. And here, Lei will show you some insight on the knowledge articles.
Our knowledge articles have been carefully procured for the back and front end. On the employee side, it serves as a tool for Jason to assist customers who are a little less techy with the path. However, if our customers are so inclined, they can simply click into the articles on the community page to be self-led per April's demonstration.
Mahalo, Lei. Another feature that we have on our webpage is an awesome chatbot, and Noreen will get into that.
For customer support issues, we've implemented a chatbot, an application that simulates human conversation. If customers feel that they are not getting the proper information from our team, our chatbot Kuhio can help them with this. If they have questions about uploading their files, have a service complaint, or even wanting to schedule an appointment with our hype man, they can do all of this with Kuhio. But so for Kamaile, she's got so much to do right now that she may forget a few things and forget to ask some important questions while she's meeting with Jason. No problem. Kuhio can answer most of her questions. So she's going to ask Kuhio, what can you tell me about credit building? Kuhio is programmed to provide her with the proper link within our knowledge articles. Or when she's laying in bed at night and processing everything that she has to do and realizes that she needs to start a saving plan, she can log in and ask Kuhio, how can I reach my savings goal? And again, he can look up the information and provide her with the resources she's looking for.
Mahalo, Noreen. Okay, so when all goes well and Kamaile is building up her credit score, she's finally reached the last stage in the credit path, Jason Momo will continue to update here, and we have financial future as the last stage. Now, at this point, if her credit score hasn't been improved yet, then he'll have to input credit still needs repair, and lucky her, she still gets to work with Jason to improve her score. With financial future, we had to build another flow. Sorry, not another flow, another process builder, and Noreen will take this away.
So with this process builder, we built this on the account object because we needed our accounts to automatically update according to the customer's credit score. When the account is updated and Kamaile has reached the required score, a congratulatory email will be sent to her and another will be sent to Keanu Reed, our developer.
So now that Kamaile's score has been improved, we'll jump her up to 700. She's on her way with financial future. So on the user's end, Keanu and his team will receive an email alert so that they can start working with Kamaile and get her a step closer with the housing development. And Kamaile on her end will receive a financial future email. And here we have embedded a link to our survey. And I'll pass that on to Lei.
The survey is a quick 5-question feature for us to receive client feedback and improve as necessary. We wanted to say mahalo the one last time to everybody who's been with us on this journey, our classmates, our kumu, and all the attendees today. If you have any questions, save them to the end, but please feel free to reach out to us individually at the supplied LinkedIn pages.